You know, it's an interesting double-edged sword to that, or because when you talk about you're doing stuff because you know it's an opportunity for you, I also feel like, much like Matt Serra, he's got like the tough side, but then he's also like a very thoughtful guy. Because I've heard you say many times, you say yes to interviews like this all the time because you're like, man, you never know. Somebody might just hear one thing on one platform that they wouldn't have that could help them. And even the stuff that you're doing now, pivoting to making decisions and betting on yourself. That's what we all do as entrepreneurs. And I consider fighters entrepreneurs as well as all the stuff you do. But you made a major life decision of choosing, instead of staying with what's comfortable, betting on yourself and leaving this like huge gym because you wanted to be able to mold fighters better, which is not a selfish decision as much as it's self-serving. It's also bigger picture, just like doing stuff like this is. And I feel like that's the biggest thing in life is people, they don't bet on themselves. They don't want to take those risks, but there's nothing I can think of in my life that has felt rewarding, that I was proud of, that I wasn't terrified or nervous or insecure to do, or I had to get uncomfortable and take a little bit of risk. And you took a major one in that, where you could have just stayed where you are and people will go, no, that's where people want to be. But, typical Dean Thomas, you're not satisfied, you're not compliant. So you go and you leave that complacency. So going through that, like, what were some of the things you did to talk yourself through such a major life decision and be able to convince yourself to take that risk and bet on yourself for people that might be in that position listening at that pivotal point in their life where they're just scared to make the leap?
Well, like you said, everything, it is a double-edged sword because every time you say yes to something, you're saying no to something else. And the idea of me going to work every day in this big gym was saying yes to that, but it was also saying no to my future, to my potential future. So I realized that. So my goal initially was, all right, I'm going to leave that. It was during COVID where there were no gyms open anyway. So I had turned my garage into a training facility, and I was just going to kind of bring fighters in and just train them personally. And I had Jillian Robertson, she stuck with me. Shorty Torres stuck with me. A young fighter named David Evans. They were living, Shorty Torres and David Evans was living with me. Like, I had an extra room for other people to come and train if they wanted. Only Greg Hardy showed up, and he never paid me, son of a gun. 3 camps, he never paid me. But like, my goal was to rent the rooms out and have like a boutique training situation where like fighters could come and I would train them. They'd stay with me for however long, and I'd charge them. And, ended up not charging Shorty or David Torres. But that's not here nor there. But what it did was it just opened up the opportunity for a new future for me. And even though that didn't work out, I ended up getting the gig with the UFC in terms of broadcasting, and it just pivoted my whole life. Had I not done that and opened up the doors, had I not cleared the space, right? So by not sticking with the gym I was at, had I not cleared that space, I would have never had the opportunity to do what I'm doing now. What I initially wanted to do, set out to do, that didn't work. I opened up space for something better. And that's the key, is that when you say no to things, you can open up space, right? When you stop doing things that don't really suit you, or you don't see the future in that, get rid of it. And I'm talking to a fighter right now, or not a fighter, but a coach right now who's also in a similar situation that I was in. And he's afraid. He's afraid to make the leap. He's afraid to jump. And I'm like, trust me, just do it, man. Like, it's going to work out. Like, if you are good at what you do, the universe will align things for you to allow you to do what you're doing at a better level. You got to be willing to let go of what's holding you back. It's taking up too much space. And in order to open up that space, you got to let it go. And that's what I did. I let go, and my life completely opened up with so many more opportunities.